So, I hate thinking that everyone is stupid except me, but I can't stop thinking that everyone is stupid except me. Okay, so this Minnesota situation with this man who was blatantly executed by ICE officers, which again, this is all right. Let's roll it back a little bit. So we have the ICE officers. They wrongly execute Renee Good, which was cruel and unusual punishment for a crime that Renee Good committed. Right? She committed a crime. The ICE agents executed her for it. Did not need to happen. All right, we agree. Full stop. That's where the situation lies. There's no way to, like, that's what happened. And then you get JD Vance. He comes up and he's like, okay, well, keep protesting. And he says it once. What he all he does is yap about, oh, you're all wrong about ICE. ICE is just doing their jobs. That's not going to help anything. What you need to say is, yeah, spend half the interview talking about that, and then the other half of the interview justifying protesting. Encourage protesting, not violent protesting, so that people are like, oh, well, he doesn't just actively hate us. He he wants us to be doing the right thing and wants us to not be killing people, ICE included. So fast forward, now ICE has executed this second guy, and in all of the angles, it looks like ICE is at fault. And everyone is just fucking like, oh no, ICE didn't fucking do anything. They're fucking like, it looks like ICE is at fault. And fucking they're just like, oh yeah, we're just like ah. So I'm only learning about this morning. I've seen memes about it around, and I didn't fully understand what was happening. I just assumed like, oh, fucking. Well, and there's your problem, right? You got people like me, all these sheeple, who are naturally assuming things because it's becoming so oversaturated that we're missing the point that it's oversaturated. There are a lot of fucking murders happening at the hands of ICE officers who are what they just sign up, right? That's all you do. You just sign up and then you get minimal training and then you get 200K a year. That's a pretty sweet deal for everyone who isn't like, an American citizen who is actively trying to help and then gets pulled down to the ground by 7 fucking ICE officers. They're all surrounding him. He had all 4 limbs on the ground. There's no reason to shoot him even if he didn't pull the gun away. Like, full stop from the get-go. There's no reason to shoot the guy. You get up in the guy's ear and you quietly say, hey, uh, are you going to calm down? If we back off, because the guy clearly was trying to help. He's clearly a sensible fucking guy. He's like, all you got to do is say, hey, are you going to calm down if we stop swarming you? If we give you a little bit of breathing room, would you kindly walk about 15 feet over onto the sidewalk so we can discuss what's going on and my co-compatriots can get back to what they have to do? Because it seemed like he was only helping people. I don't know. This is just like I'm coming off. That's all I know. That's my quick 3-minute breakdown. And so now what we're going to do is we're about 6 minutes into this. This is the main thing that I wanted to yap about. This is incredibly deceptive, right? This is the gun. This is deceptive to put the magazine that close, right? You should put the magazine down here. Because it would be very easy for some idiot like me who thought that this magazine was a part of the gun to be like, well, yeah, but what happened to that fucking big thing there? Right? That's not especially if you're not thinking already, that's a very easy mistake to make. This is incredibly deceptive camera work here, I think. Uh, maybe I'm just wrong, but I I don't know. I'm very, very upset about this whole situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my window capture go on to this so that hopefully you guys will be able to see both. And then I'm going to play some World of Warcraft in the background while we listen. And we're going to... yeah, sorry. I'm trying to make this, like, not invasive so that... Yeah, alright. That'll do. Fucking, I'll cover World of Warcraft chat. That's fine. And then we're gonna listen. So
That's the only part of it that I can tell.
exactly, yeah. And again, this is incredibly deceptive. Asmon's got good eyes. I did not. I thought that fucking, all
That's
this.
looking pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
That is pretty fucking close right there.
But again, there's
I
no
mean, I'm
need for
sorry, but
this.
like
This
that
is
shit is
this
almost
is for the
one.
idiots who can't tell that they had no reason, who can't use their critically thinking noodle to realize, hey, if this guy's trying to help, he's probably not a fucking violent guy. He's probably a guy who will reasonably be talked to if some of the heat is backed off. You know, like I don't I don't understand this violence first, like I don't understand this violence first initiative, for lack of a better term. Like this is all just anger and I don't know, uh anger and rage, the flux of which is, I don't know. It's the flux capacitor of everything that I despise about the current state of the country. And people are getting it right on the money. People are like, "Oh fuck. This is the gun equals gun." Yeah, it has a 1-to-1, not close is the same. Sorry, that's a different point. I wasn't reading. Um Okay, sorry. I'm quite mad about this. This is just ridiculous. And the thing is, this is gonna keep happening because no one can get it right. It's all about the he said she said bullshit. All right, fucking um. Yeah, there was a point that I had about the gun, and now I'm thinking about how to best address the sheeple. Fuck. All right. You know what? Let's keep going. And it'll come back to me. Eventually. This this is like not even a severe and continuous lapse in judgment anymore. This is just a blatant disregard for human life and the betterment of the country. The Second Amendment thing, by the way. I want to be allowed to carry a gun. I know people who daily carry every day. I think it is I think guns and like carrying has solved more problems than it's caused. You know, how many guns that are used to commit a crime are illegally acquired or in someone else's name, right? Pretty sure it's a fucking lot. Pretty sure if you legally own a gun, you're only using it for, majority of people with brains big enough to decide, hey, I have a gun. I should probably, think about it. Think about how I'm going to use it. Like, I know I have one buddy who's, and that's a whole nother conversation about gang culture and its effect on the youth, which I've seen. I grew up in a pretty druggy, um, scene. I was surrounded by a lot of my friends who were doing way stronger drugs than I ever wanted any part of. But there's still my. I don't know. Fuck. We're getting off topic. Let's keep going because what's important is that someone got executed twice in 2 months. This is the second time in 2 months that this has happened. After fucking Charlie Kirk got assassinated. This is more widespread murder attempts that people just seem to not be caring about. Like this is not normal stuff. This will lead to a civil war, and it's going to be really scary. I think that what they're doing now, just hiring ICE people, what they need to do is because they're getting so many applicants, they need to be sending them out the door just as fast as they're pulling them in. Allegedly, from what I've seen. This is all my critically thinking on, just what I've seen. It makes sense that if you've got so many applicants, you can afford to lose a couple of ones who are like, oh yeah, like that, the drunk ICE officer who tried to he's like, are you Haitian, to the police officer that pulled him over because he was driving under the fucking influence. He tried to deport him mid fucking arrest. Like, we don't want those people in charge of keeping the law. And Asmund said something earlier. He said police make mistakes. I think that this is not just police making mistakes. This is costing people lives. These aren't mistakes. This is criminal negligence is what this is. This is actual lethal levels of negligence and stupidity being fucking performed, for lack of a better term, being performed than for want of a better term, being performed by people who are supposed to be protecting us and helping our country. I don't want those people. I want the police officers. I want Mike Ehrmantraut. You know, I want police officers who really. I want. I don't know if I want to say his real name, but he's a college professor that I've talked about before. That is the epitome of a police officer. He was working in 3 separate police departments, and all he wanted to do was help people. That's all he wants to do. The police officers are supposed to be our superheroes. I don't want my superheroes having a Homelander complex. Okay? Like, I think it's what we need to do is we need to stop pushing narratives, and we need to start pushing, like, hey, peace in our time, right? We want peace in our time. You know, if you want immigrants to stop running from you, or sorry, not immigrants, illegal aliens to stop running from you, maybe maybe don't approach them with guns and masks. Maybe approach them with, like, hey, so we understand the situation that you're in. We have empathy for you. Here are a couple of options you can take. A couple of them may result in full citizenship and having your own papers. A couple of them may result in jail time, depending on how you want to play this. So, like, because obviously these people, you need to understand, right, that if someone came into the country illegally, that is in fact illegal. And, you know, whether or not they have a family or not should certainly affect what happens to them. But I think if they're not a rapist, they're not a murderer, they're not a pedophile, they're just a guy who escaped a bad situation and is now living in a very good situation, they should have the opportunity to keep everything that they've worked for to obtain. Not frauded through, not frauded for, worked for. Because I know people who have, like, buckled down, they haven't played the system. They played the American dream just like Americans all over. And, you know, it's like there are no winners unless we start having a little empathy. Because right now it's all about he said, she said. If an ICE officer sees an alien, what they see is a paycheck. They see a time to be a hero. What this immigrant, this non-ICE agent, like the receiver of the ICE wrath, for again, one of better terms, the receiver of the ICE wrath, you know, as I said, he may be just as American as any other American. They're out there. I promise you. There are some aliens here who are so patriotic. They put you guys to shame. They legitimately care about America. They truly think America is the beacon of hope for the rest of the world that I want to believe and know that it can be. You know, and if that guy, how do you think he's going to feel? He's going to feel exactly like we feel right now. He's going to feel so betrayed. I'm now realizing I don't know much about what I'm talking about, but, like, a little empathy, man. We got to start thinking about, okay, well, how would I feel if I had 7 fucking ICE agents surrounding me and I was complying, you know, all 4 limbs on the ground, just trying my hardest to listen to what they're telling me. Like, it's fucking... It's so bullshit, man.
I was going to bet, right? If I was going to bet on whether this is the same gun, I'd say it was. If you said, all right, flip a coin, which side do you think that it's going to land on? I think this is the same gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a very, very obvious... Let me go back. I'm trying to read the rest of these. Armored vehicle entering the scene near the shooting. See, this is what I've said before, is that, like, if they had brought in the military, this would have never happened. Everything in the videos are just so messy, it's basically...
Even if the military's there, these people who want to help, like this guy, who got wrongfully executed for wanting to help, he wasn't fucking doing anything. He shot his hand straight up after he got pepper sprayed to be like, hey, I am not a threat. Like, this is not... The issue lies in perception, the perception of the people. Because the only reason that these people are going out and trying to help, which it seems like they're not helping, they're just getting murdered for trying to help and trying to do the right thing. It clearly stems from a place of empathy and wanting to help. But when you're not being... When when you care more that the other side is wrong than that you're doing something right... it makes it very difficult to trust that other side, or makes it very difficult to work together. I don't know if this is making sense, but the bottom line is, if you're feeding these people information that says, don't trust ICE, ICE are all Nazis, ICE are Gestapo, they're going to treat ICE like Nazis and Gestapo. In the same way that if you have ICE supporters seeing, oh, protesters are all violent, they tried to run over a police officer, then they're going to think all protesters are violent libtards who deserve to be sent away with all the pedophiles and the rapists. Like, you need to have a bit of sense to look out and be like, cooperate. It's not about who said what. It's about why they said it. It's about what does everyone universally want? Everyone wants ICE to stop. Everyone wants ICE to stop. ICE doesn't want to be having to do this. The protesters don't want ICE to be doing this. The government doesn't want ICE to be doing this because it's getting in the way of things like, releasing the Epstein files. Like, there's a way bigger thing. It should not be this difficult to say, hey, we have a problem. We need a solution. Bad. Unfortunately, there's no real good solution other than J.D. Vance getting up on stage and being like, hey, keep peacefully, talk specifically about protesters. Don't mention ICE. Don't mention ICE maybe in the sense that they've executed 2 people now, cruel and unusual punishment for crimes that, in this case, I don't think the guy committed well, I'm not going to say anything more, but ICE executed 2 people. Full stop. That's what happened. There's no arguing against that. I Asmongold is going to say Rip Bozo. I disagree. I think Renee Good was simply trying to get away. She was in an incredibly confused... Yeah, you should really arrest her wife. Her wife was the one who said run away. I honestly don't think she would have. But anyways, yeah, so Rip Bozo is not the case here. It is way... It's so much worse than that. I mean... Like, fuck, I had a point. This is why it sucks to have ADHD and, fuck. Yeah, J.D. Vance should get on stage. He should say, ICE has executed 2 people. However, the reason these 2 people both got executed was due to 2 things. A lack of training on ICE's part, we're addressing that, but then also an incredible aggression from protesters. Please keep protesting. Online forums, keep speaking out online. Like, beg the protesters to keep protesting peacefully. Remind them that if they engage in obstruction, and if they engage in harboring fugitives, and if they engage in other criminal acts, then they will be treated as criminal. But if they remain peaceful, and they keep things like petitions and ask the government what ICE is doing, ask the government why they're allowing ICE to just roll into your fucking home and break the 4th Amendment because a judge who isn't a real judge said that they could. Yeah, it's really fucking scary stuff. Like, we need J.D. Vance, someone that the people trust, someone that is clearly a good speaker, someone that clearly wants the best for the country, to get up and treat the protesters as American citizens and not as an enemy to be re-educated and rehabilitated, which is what they're doing. It really sucks.
Impossible to make any definitive conclusion without body cam footage.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I would say that 80% chance. This is, and I think that it's very important.
See,
right
it's
now
it's idiots like that. It's idiots like that they see this video and they go, okay, well, wait for the full context. The full context, which you can see in the video, is the guy was 4 limbs down, surrounded by 5 ICE officers. They pulled a gun away from the scene. And then shot him 5 times in the back. Where is the shooting allowed there? The way I see it, you've got 4 ICE agents all surrounding that guy. He's not going anywhere. They got him for 3 minutes. He is barred to that location, especially with a guy with as strong of a heart as that guy allegedly had. Like, this is just making me sad. The guy wanted to help people. He's just like me, and he got executed for wanting to help people. Like, does that make any sense to you? Like, come on! It's so infuriating that people are so willfully, like... They're willfully blind. They're looking for any reason to say that this guy was a libtard who got taken down, and I bet it's because they've been fed so much anti-liberal media and they listen to people like Asmongold and JD Vance, and they just fucking sorry. They got like fucking yeah, because they've not indoctrinated, but they've been fed so much like pro ICE and like anti immigrant media, and so much protesters fucking protesters are wrong, killed liberals bullshit, that they're not even, they look at this and they go, okay, well, ICE is clearly justified. Now we just need to figure out why ICE is justified. And it's like, no, look at what actually happened. I think. I don't know if that makes sense, but I know that that's what I think. Asmongold had a very, very nice, he had a very nice, yeah. Guy gets thrown down. Did he reach for the gun? Rip bozo. Did he reach for the gun? No. Executed, investigation needed, right? Like, this cannot be that difficult. Governor, if these guys don't start talking about we're going to cooperate with the government, we need the government to train ICE officers better, and we are going to work on a local level to keep people away from ICE operations. That's what they need to do. They need to be like, all right, we're going to have weekly meetings every week where anyone who has an issue with ICE can come in and they can speak to maybe an ICE leader, maybe someone who's in charge of the organization, and be like, we have questions for you. Why is ICE doing this, this, and that in a peaceful way? If they're not peaceful, they get thrown out, and not criminal charges, but they get something to be like, hey, this is what happens if you continue to be unpeaceful. We are trying our hardest to work with you. We just need peace on both sides. Let ICE do their jobs that they may or may not be that is illegal. Let ICE do their jobs that is a legal gray area, period, in and of itself. You know, let some legal experts look into the legality of what ICE is doing, because it's questionable at best. I know that. And then have these protesters and the people who actively want to help be able to interact with not this shadow organization Gestapo, but the guy in the chair, the guy who's sitting there and being like, okay, this is what I want, you know, these are the orders. This is, give them numbers. Be like, this is how many illegal immigrants are in the country. This is how many are violent. This is the specific, like, violent offenders that we want to get out. Here are some ways that immigrants can regain citizenship. If they were here illegally, you know, show them that it's not a shadow organization that wants to hurt them, but show them that it is an arm, a branch of the government simply doing its job, solving a legitimate problem that maybe, I don't know, but I know that ICE is not some Gestapo, and I know that these liberals are not violent, like, they are a violent and aggressive group, but only because they don't see any other way to have their voice heard. Give them ways to have their voice heard. Give them a voice to speak with. Because if we don't start treating each other like people, then we're going to be executing people like dogs in, like, it's already happening, and it's only going to keep happening unless someone puts down the brainworms and says, okay, what we've been doing is not helpful. It hasn't been helpful since, like, I think and what I say by what we've been doing, I mean violent protests. Like, I I don't fucking know. I think violent protests have no place in America. I think that peaceful protests are what this country was founded upon. The Boston Tea Party, while it's been, like, that wasn't killing people. That was throwing tea into the ocean. You know, I don't... Bottom line, I need someone smarter than me to tell me whether or not I'm wrong. Because it seems like it's not that difficult to be like, hey, we're all people. We all want the best for America. We all want to help solve this problem. So let's all help solve this problem. Let's not say, oh, this side's wrong, that side's wrong. Let's say, what is the problem, and attack it as a team. From a boots-on-the-ground perspective through ICE, and from a, what is this, like, what effect is this legitimately having on people? Because I bet ICE doesn't see that. I bet ICE doesn't see the legitimate effect it has on normal American citizens. I bet ICE sees the numbers of illegal immigrants in the country going down, and that is all they care about. And I think that it is It sucks. It sucks. Bottom line, man, it sucks.
There's a very, very obvious... Let me go back. I'm trying to read the rest of these. Armored vehicle entering the scene near the shooting. See, this is what I've said before, is that, like, if they had brought in the military, this would have never happened.
Again, disagree,
Everything in
but
the
that's
videos
fine.
are just so messy, it's basically impossible to make any definitive conclusion without
What the
body
fuck?
cam footage.
What the fuck are you
You're
talking
right,
about?
But I would say that 80% chance, this is, and I think that it's very important right now, that if this guy did get shot when he was unarmed, that there is accountability for ICE for doing this. Because you can't have, like, for example, whenever they shot the woman with the car, that Renee Good, I think that, like, it was much more ambiguous. I think that it's very obvious that if you're shooting an unarmed man whenever they're being restrained by 6 other people or 7 other people, very, very clearly your life was not in danger. You're not defending yourself from a deadly threat. This person's unarmed, and that's it. There's literally no excuse for it. And I'm a big
Thank you,
supporter
Asmund.
of ICE.
I
think ICE
really
is great.
think
I think they
that-
should deport every single illegal alien in the country. All that being said, you can't have ICE. Because I'm a supporter of ICE, that means that I need to have accountability for ICE. Trump's a retard for not sending in troops 2 months ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago? I know.
But Trump hasn't been receiving, assistance from local officials, right? I bet if the local officials had put their foot down and been like, all right, guys, you are gonna die if you go out. So here are a couple of ways that you can keep your life safe while still voicing your opinion with that same, joie de vivre and, like that same joie de vivre and that same, want to change the world, want to change the country, want to help. Give them an outlet for that so that they don't have to bottle it up until it hits the streets in mass with weapons. Because things like this are going to happen. A guy was just trying to help and he got murdered for it. Like, he didn't even commit a crime. He wasn't even obstructing.
Doing too many things domestically and internationally. Yeah, I think so too. Motive was found on his social media. He was retweeting Kill ICE Agent TikToks. That's fine, but I don't think that they shot him knowing what was on his TikTok page.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically,
Yeah,
I don't
he
think...
was not posing any fucking threat. Like, if you go and watch the video, he shoots his arm up as soon as he gets pepper sprayed. Watch the Moist Critical video on this, because Moist does a very, very great job of showing the multiple different angles and pointing out, like, hey, this is what's actually going on. This is what actually happened. The guy has all his limbs on the ground. I'm sure that if there were more than, any more than 2 voices screaming at him commands, they were definitely giving conflicting commands, as we saw with Renee Good. Like, this is... we need better training. You can't just give some guy a gun and $200,000 a year, not train him, and then say, all right, go hit the streets and you're going to get to beat people up. No, you need to train them and then be like, okay, hey, did you use the actual amount of force we told you to use, or did you call this guy a fucking imbecile, rip him out of his car, throw him on the ground, and then not even handcuff him, but dislocate his shoulders, essentially trying to handcuff him? Because at that point, that should be fucking cruelty. That should be an arrest. That, if you've got so many people and you're willing to pay them so much money, it should be easy to have a revolving door of, oh, you fucked up, get the fuck out. Like, give them not even 3 strikes, because, again, these are people's lives on the line. It should be the same with, like, local law enforcement. Local law enforcement should be incredibly, like, tight. It should be a well-oiled machine of problem solving and making the country a better place to live for all parties. This is this is the one thing I don't like about Asmongold. He says all the right things except for, like, he's got a lack of empathy for the other side, which again is not unfounded, because all he's seeing is, oh, people are trying to do their jobs, and then these mindless animals, as he calls them, are going and fucking obstructing and throwing rocks at police cars and all this shit. I'm not saying that throwing stones at cop cars is a good thing to be doing. What I am saying is that there are definitely better ways to solve this problem than, oh, arrest them, demonize them, like... We cannot just keep going on this cycle of, oh, I'm going to demonize this group that I don't like because they're doing things, and I don't know why they're wrong, but I know that people are saying they're wrong, and so I'm going to use that as a good excuse to fucking... Is this making sense at all? I hope it is. I'm quite mad about
I think
this.
this guy's a saint, right? Like, I don't think that this is some kind of, like, innocent guy that did nothing wrong. Like, you should
Well,
have
he
not,
was.
You should have not gone on there. You should have not been obstructing the police.
He
You shouldn't
wasn't
have been touching
obstructing the
You
police.
shouldn't have gone up to a
He
gone up to the police and
wasn't
gotten out
touching
with
the
a
police.
gun.
He
You
was
shouldn't have
trying
been
to
resisting arrest.
he did not resist arrest. He got on the ground and he was hanging out on the ground. Shouldn't have been arrested in the first place because he wasn't obstructing. He was trying to help other protesters who were obstructing. He was trying to get them away. He was trying to remove them from the situation. And for that, he got killed. Do you guys see why I'm so angry about this? How, actually brain dead you have to be to, not brain dead, but it's like, you have to have empathy, and a lot of people don't have the empathy required, or they don't get that empathy because they're seeing demons on their TV screen committing violent atrocities. You know, it's really sad, and it makes me very, very angry. I think it's fucking... Yeah, I don't know. That's like all I've got on it as far as fucking, I don't know, my thoughts on the matter. I think that it's all gone way too far, and I think that the fact that Asmongold can see a guy trying to help and be like, oh, he's obstructing, because he simply doesn't know the full story, and then, again, continuing to radicalize people like me. I don't know. What we need more truth. We can't have... I shouldn't have to read 2 news sources to get the same story. It should be way easier for me to get both sides. We need objective news again, not just fucking like, oh, this guy's wrong because I said he's wrong, but if you go and look at what he's saying, there's actually some stuff that I missed because I didn't care to, fucking to look into it. I don't know. It should not be this difficult to be like, oh man, you've got 2 sides that are about to go to war, and they both have deities on both sides of the news spectrum who are equally terrible at their jobs, and giving them, who's going in and telling the ICE officers that they have to treat a guy like that? I guarantee you if it was local law enforcement, it would be handled with much more, I don't know, substance, maybe. Whatever the word I'm looking for is. It would be handled with much more professionalism. And it would be a much cleaner operation than, what these ICE officers... They weren't even fucking doing anything to try. They were just standing around him and screaming at him. Like, what the hell? What the hell... Were they just waiting for one of them to be like, all right, guys, what do we do now? Like, obviously, yeah, grabbing his gun is a good thing, but, see, this is the problem. He literally deserved it. This is the problem. Kami's trying to defend this tard. What are you talking about? I guarantee you this guy, this is his first time seeing it, and then he's seen this, and he's seen memes on iFunny. This is not helpful, guys. If you actually care, then do something that's worth doing. These commies and these libtards are not commies and libtards. They are people who want to change the country, who want to help, who want to make this a better place to live, who want us to keep our guns. I don't understand how you can look at someone wanting to help and be like, oh man, what a commie libtard. What are you doing that's helpful? What are you perpetuating this thought experiment that fucking the police are eternally good and they've never done anything wrong, and that where are you coming from? I would love to hear this guy's thoughts. I'd love to hear his, because I guarantee you what would come out of his mouth is something to the effect of, oh, well, he was fucking, she tried to run over that ICE officer. Of course, rip bozo. It's like, well, yeah, but why, right? Why did she try to do that? Like, really have them turn on their noodle and try to be like, well, but do you... And the problem is, as soon as the guy would start being wrong, he would be like, oh, well, he would wall in. He would wall in and refuse to listen to another perspective. And I think that's the biggest issue with the country nowadays is everyone is so scared of being wrong that they'd rather just not listen, which is the true fall of using your brain. I think that is the point when we have legitimately failed as a school system, as a country, as a place to work, because all of those are affected by that thing of, oh, I'm wrong, so I'm gonna run away and hide and not change my thinking, because I'd rather be wrong and ignorant than I'd rather be wrong and ignorant than be correct and not. Don't be ignorantly wrong. Don't be willfully stupid. You can use your brain. It's allowed. You're allowed to be the smartest one in the friend group as long as you're right. You're allowed to look at your buddy and be like, hey, I don't actually know a lot about this. Or look at your buddy and say, hey, you know a lot about this, huh? Like, why is that so feared now? It's really infuriating. And I think it's definitely part of this, is that as soon as someone's wrong, they're like, oh, well, la 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 la, fucking, you guys are the problem. You guys are the reason this is happening.
All of those things wrong, but none of that justifies shooting the guy in the moment, other than the fact that your life is in danger. Like, they didn't do a TikTok review before they shot the guy. Do you think any of this is martyr syndrome or desired suicide?
No.
I think that a lot of these people, this is the problem.
No, the problem is that they want to help. They want to help.
People like Tim Walz go out there and they, basically like amp up this idea that ICE are not police enforcement, ICE are not law enforcement. ICE are absolutely law enforcement. This is the easiest Google search of your life. It's very clear that they're law enforcement. So when you've got him out there saying that, when you've got him out there that, like he says peacefully protest, but he never explicitly says not to interfere and attack federal law enforcement. Because if Tim
that's
Walz
the
had
problem.
come out there and he had said very clearly, do not interfere with federal law enforcement.
Yeah.
Do not try to touch federal law enforcement. Do not impede their investigations. Do not be violent towards them. And he said that just in plain English.
Yeah, if he spit that and then he turned around, because that statement in and of itself would have made a lot of people angry. So if he took that and before the anger could fully, boil over, if he was like, hey, here are some ways you can legitimately help, offer legitimate solutions, then guess where all these angry people would be going? They would be going to those legitimate solutions, and they would be telling their friends, no, don't go and fucking protest on the street. Go and protest here. Go to this building and voice your concern to, again, an actual ICE leadership figure, or, have like a ballot box and be like, hey, we want to complain to, and then have ICE have a sect of all these well, that's a terrible idea. But you know what I mean, right? Offer legitimate solutions so that people have a place to go instead of just the streets where they can potentially get murdered for trying to help. Again, I want to outline, this guy was trying to help. He wasn't obstructing. He was preventing obstruction. Like, he was simply auditing an ICE operation and doing his best to keep people out of the way. I don't think that's a problem. I think the problem is when these people are told to peacefully protest and then nothing else. It's like, well, what does peacefully protest mean,
I think that would go farther than almost anything else. But he's not doing that. Yeah, Tim Walz is live. Okay, give me a minute. Let me see if I can find it.
Please. I desperately want you to. Please.
And today that campaign claimed another life. I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
But I have a strong statement here for our federal our federal government. Minnesota's
please.
justice system will have the last word on this.
Just like they
It
did with the
must
last one.
have the last word. As I told the White House in no uncertain
don't be
terms this
stupid.
morning, the federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation.
Yes, they
The state will
absolutely
handle it,
can.
period.
You cannot be trusted to lead the people. Ah!
Let me say something else, and this is critically important. All of us understand what happened this morning and the tragedy of it, and my deepest sympathies to the family
Let me turn it up.
of a 37-year-old Minnesota resident, a lawful firearm.
Don't say Minnesota resident. Say American citizen. Let's widen the net here, because this can happen anywhere in the country. It probably has, and it definitely will if you guys keep speeding down this road of civil war. So widen the net. American citizen. He was not just a Minnesota resident. He was an American citizen, doing what he could as an American citizen to help the people around him.
Concealed permit carrier,
Yeah.
something that I've been lectured to by Republicans
Was it
for
lawful
decades.
to assault a
Yeah.
federal officer?
It is not only
He
your
didn't
right, it's
assault
your
a
duty.
federal officer. You can make a case for Renee Good, sure. Not that that would be a
We know
strong
that the
case,
potential
but
to further inflame tensions is high, and to Minnesotans,
Oh, it's so cooked. It's
There's a
totally
difference.
cooked.
hold on.
It's
want-
one. Just in plain English.
What did you?
using their First Amendment,
It's
we want calm and
100%
peace in life. I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening.
Yes.
But I have a strong statement here for our federal government. Minnesota's justice system will have the last word on this.
Just like they
It
did with the
must
last one.
have the last word. As I told the White House in no uncertain terms this morning, the federal government cannot be trusted to lead this investigation. The state will handle it, period.
But it won't.
Let me say something else, and this is critically important. All of us understand what happened this morning and the tragedy of it, and my deepest sympathies to the family
Let me turn it up.
of a 37-year-old Minnesota resident, a lawful firearm concealed permit carrier, something that I've been lectured to by Republicans
Was it
for
lawful
decades.
to assault a federal officer?
It is not only your right, it's your duty. We know that the potential to further inflame tensions is high, and to Minnesotans,
Oh, it's so cooked. It's
There's a
totally
difference.
cooked.
we
It's
want calm and
100%
peace and
cooked.
normalcy back to our lives. They want chaos.
No, they don't. This is the exact kind of fucking. This is the exact kind of language that's going to result in a civil war. They don't want chaos. They want peace and calm and normalcy and things to return to normal. That's their fucking job. Problem is, they're shitty at doing it. If you guys are just as shitty at doing your jobs, then no one's going to fucking. Then the job is not going to get done. The job is simply not going to get done. Things like this are going to continue to happen because everyone is so stupid and finger pointy. This is why I always say everyone's stupid except me, because everyone is so finger pointy. The problem isn't ICE. The problem isn't the protesters. The problem is the conduction. The problem is how they are conducting themselves, right? If you have ICE, again, revolving people out the door just as quickly as they're taking new people in, eventually you'll have a squad of 15 ICE agents that legitimately care to do their job well, legitimately care to assimilate immigrants into our system as best as they can, legitimately care to keep violent criminals out of our country. Maybe a month at best if you're kicking people out just as fast as you're pulling them in. Again, I cite the ICE agent who tried to deport a law enforcement officer that had pulled him over for drinking and driving during the arrest, like during him being arrested. Like the mind-boggling lack of care on either side is absolutely insane, and I think that no one is helping. No one is helping. There's nothing to be done. It's well, there is stuff to be done. We need Tim Walz to back off of they want chaos and they and them and what they're doing, and he needs to start saying this is what we're doing as a local government, as the government of Minnesota. I don't give a shit. ICE is doing what they can. This is what we as a government are going to attack. It doesn't fucking matter what ICE is doing. All you're doing is pointing all of the blame on ICE. All of the blame doesn't belong on ICE. The only reason he was out there is because he didn't know what else to do, but he knew that people that he cared about were dying. He knew that people he cared about were being kicked out of the country unlawfully and aggressively. Like, it's simply a guy who wanted to help. And if you as a government care more about the he said, she said than about legitimately helping, then the guy died for nothing. You know? It's so infuriating.
We cannot and we will not give them what they want by meeting violence with violence.
Then tell them to stop impeding arrests.
Exactly. So yeah, they want chaos. We cannot and will not stand by while they perform violence. Then don't be performing violence. This is violent language. This is going to lead to violent action. Violence breeds violence. You can't fight fire with fire. So get a little bit of fucking water, you know? Use some Vance fucking language and lower the temperature. Temperature's pretty fucking high. It will inflame aggressiveness if you keep using aggressive language.
Minnesota and our local law enforcement, as you have seen,
Tell them to stop doing
have
it.
done everything possible to de-escalate.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You absolutely haven't done everything, anything possible. Because what are these people supposed to do? They're angry. They know that there's a problem, and they want to solve it because the people around them are not solving it. So what are they supposed to do, right? You guys clearly don't give enough of a shit. So you guys aren't fucking doing anything and everything possible at all. I could think of 5 things right now that you could be doing. Again, you know, have a for lack of a better term, a safe house where people can go and voice their opinions on ICE. Have an online forum where you can be like, hey, you know, this is what people think of ICE, and then we'll have local government officials go through and read it and see if we can talk to ICE, you know, be a mediator. Is any of this sounding pretty similar? It's remarkably similar. How many problems I bet can be solved if you can organize a civil discussion between the people this is legitimately affecting, the American citizens who are losing their lives over this, and the ICE officers who are continuing to be violent and continuing to be aggressive and continuing to wrongly fucking execute people. This is... have a sit-down discussion instead of a poking back and forth in long, drawn-out speeches where you can't actively poke holes in someone's argument and say, have you looked at it this way? Everything and everything possible, my fucking ass, dude.
Local media has reported extensively.
You want to talk about anything and everything possible? J.D. Vance is doing a remarkable job of being like, hey, guys, understand, we are not demons. We are simply doing our job. We are doing what we can without help from local officials, which is very clearly apparent. This Tim Walz guy does not want to help the government in any way, which I respect. I fucking hate the government. Again, I cite the Epstein files. I cite Ouattara. I cite, our relationship with Israel right now, which I think is very shaky at best. I think Benny Netanyahu is an evil, evil man. Not even the Israeli people like the Israeli government. But that's besides the point. This is exactly what I was talking about. He's closing his eyes, he's putting his fingers in his ears, and he's saying, nope, you guys are wrong, we haven't done anything wrong. Like, at least the government is trying to reach out and help and be like, keep peacefully protesting, please, but don't be impeding, he should have done more, obviously, but at least he tried. He's closer than this guy's getting.
On the cooperation
Except for telling
to
him to
de-escalate
stop.
this situation.
Exactly!
Jesus.
Donald Trump,
This is why I
call
like
on you
Asman.
once
He and I
again,
agree on a lot of
remove
stuff.
this
His Rip
force
Bozo policy
from
is a little
Minnesota.
intense.
They are sowing chaos and violence.
You are
We've
sowing
seen
just
deadly
as much
violence from
chaos and
federal
violence.
agents again and again and again. But in contrast to that, on these frozen streets, what you witnessed yesterday was the best of Minnesota, peacefully exercising their First Amendment rights. And I attended in the church basement hundreds of Minnesotans from all faith packing care packages for families that have been ripped apart. Despite the horrific acts by this federal government, Minnesotans are standing up for the rule of law. They're
Brian said they
protesting
should have brought
loudly
in
and
the military
urgently,
last
but peacefully.
week.
It must
2
stay that
weeks
way,
ago.
Minnesota.
None of
Minnesotans
this
are
would have
witnessing, and we're creating a log of evidence for the future prosecution of ICE agents and officials responsible
see?
for this. They're helping their neighbors. They're walking their kids to school. They're feeding families. I salute their courage and their restraint, and I call on all Americans to see the decency that
Their courage and their restraint, folks. Folks, this is an indirect implication of violence. This is not good language. We need to be... I understand that you're angry, Tim Walz. I'm angry just as much. But if people stop putting themselves in the position of dying because they think that that's the best way to help, then people are going to stop dying. If ICE agents stop going in with the mind of, oh, I'm going to beat up this stupid, illegal, fat Mexican who's stealing from Americans, then they probably would be like, oh, this guy has like a full family, and he's done the work. He's worked just as hard as I have to get to where he is. Let's see if we can assimilate him and be like, you know, get him some actual papers. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand this aggressiveness to be like, it's us versus them. It's their fault. It's all their fault. And zero, you know, taking accountability and being like, well, what can we still do? You know, like telling people to stop, like offering a place for people to output this anger in a constructive way that will actually change things. You know, it's very sad. It's very sad.
This state is exhibiting, and the horrific cruelty, unprofessional, absolute abomination
was there for 8
that is
years.
passing for what these ICE agents are doing on our streets. They think they can provoke us into abandoning our values. Well, they're dead wrong.
The ICE agents are saying exactly the same thing. They're saying, we are receiving death threats. We are getting yanked out of cafes. You can't just go to someone who's off duty, rip them out of a cafe, and start beating them because you think they might possibly be an ICE agent. You know, this ICE agent is probably... Doesn't this sound similar? It's a... I'm going to pull an Asmongold, because if I try to talk this out, it's not going to make any sense. This is like... Yeah. So, I'm gonna make a little Venn diagram, right? Uh, uh, right. Yeah, beating and violently removing people from places they are told that these people are not allowed. Fucking... I mean, the parallels, I'm going to start with the parallels, because that's literally going to take less time. Fucking, yeah, engaging based on the appearance of the offender, you know, you look like an ICE officer. Let me see your papers. I'm not sure if you're legal. You know, are you Haitian? That type shit. Fucking, yeah, violence of an appalling manner. You know, you've got people literally attempting to run over officers, maybe. You've got people who are leaving their children behind so that they can escape from an officer. You've got people who are going in and ripping officers out of cafes. You've got people who are going in and executing American citizens for trying to help. You know, like, fucking... right? he said, she said, over long, drawn-out speeches with zero accountability and only outward-bound attacking of the other person. I'm gonna see if I can fucking move this text box. I can't. But I have not heard J.D. Vance take accountability and be like, yeah, ICE is not conducting themselves in a very, effective manner. And I have not heard Tim Walz be like, yeah, we have not, we could be telling people to stop, but we aren't because that doesn't support our narrative, It's like, you got protesters on one side, like, want to help, but are told that these again all right, the protesters, they want to help and they're told that these people are demons, and then you've got ICE being like, oh, these people are racist and pedophiles and they're stealing from American taxpayers. This is like this cannot be this difficult to figure out. They're exactly the same. You swap a couple of words around and their messages are exactly the same. It's very clear that everyone wants to help and everyone wants to return to normal and everyone wants people to stop dying. But no one is doing the correct way to get people to stop dying. They're simply pointing at the other side and being like, look at all the things you're doing wrong. And then when that other side is like, well, look at all the things you're doing wrong, then they go, la 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 la. People are going to keep dying. These are people's lives, and they're dying for nothing. And no one seems to care. There are legitimate solutions that are very easy to accomplish. Very easy solutions to take. All J.D. Vance has to do as a, the chairman of ICE, to be like, being the mouth of ICE as an organization. All he has to do is show some sympathy for the other side and be like, yeah, I will say, what we're doing, it doesn't look great, but here are some of the reasons why we have to be doing what we're doing. Like, the media doesn't fucking help either, because it's like, oh, they arrested a 5-year-old. Yeah, what else were they supposed to do? If you were told to arrest someone and you get there and it's a little 5-year-old kid, and you're like, this is very clearly not that. What, is he supposed to just hang out? Supposed to have to, I mean, I suppose you could have had a guy watch him. I'm sure they didn't put the kid in cuffs, right? These I'm looking at these headlines right now. This is frightening, man. This is horrible. This is awful. Okay. Whatever. What was my point? My point was, ICE officers, find 5. I have to look it up as if I'm supporting ICE, because otherwise I'm gonna get the wrong fucking news. It's so awesome. Yeah. Father of 5 detained by ICE, not what I wanted. Detained by ICE when father runs. I should say abandons, because that's the only way I'm gonna get the news that I'm looking for. By ICE, along with his father. Yeah. Handed. His father was also taken into custody. Reports indicate used Liam as bait, directing him to knock on the door of their home while they apprehended his father. What? Was abandoned by his father during the operation. Has fled on foot when approached by in school if disputed, stating the father was present and that the situation was mishandled by ICE. Wouldn't be surprised. Superintendent is using child inappropriately during enforcement action. Emphasizing the emotional and psychological impact on the child and the family. Yeah. Yeah. So has ICE fucking done anything about this? Well, that's what the DHS says, Department of Homeland Security. I was gonna say, if they put cuffs on the kid, like if they just let the little guy roam around, that's what I'd do. I'd be like, all right, buddy, let's learn a game called rock paper scissors, right? Fucking keep the kid entertained, because as you're talking about the effect on the kid, you want to keep that child happy. You know, you want that kid saying, "Oh, Ice was the nicest." You know, they fucking like, am I wrong? Have I gone too far to get home? Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The fucking everyone's stupid except me, man. It's so sad because I should not be the smartest in the room. I hate being the smartest in the room. I hate it. But it seems like no one else has a fucking brain to be like, man, you know, ICE is very clearly not conducting themselves lawfully, and neither are the people. You know, let's look at why they're doing what they're doing. Why is ICE doing what it's doing? Well, because ICE is constantly worried about threats from all sides. They're worried about threats on the side of the immigrants they're trying to detain, worried about threats on the side of the people that clearly don't trust them and are, you know, actively trying to put them in danger, obstructing their operations and all that. And then you've got the people who see that, you know, American citizens all over the news with, you know, families and all that are just getting deported and ass blasted. Like, the whole thing is it's mind-boggling. It makes me so mad. Like, they're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. It's a one-for-one. They're exactly the same. Let's keep going because I've yapped enough. I want to see Tim
We'll
Walz.
keep the peace. We'll
Sure.
secure the justice with our neighbors, and
Sure.
we'll see this occupation ends. Minnesotans and Minnesota law enforcement that continuously is being denigrated by this administration will continue to be the adults in the room, the professionals in the room, the decent human beings in the room that will keep the peace.
Oh,
With this, I'd
sure.
like to turn it over to
Sure.
Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson to update you on the situation as
See,
we know
he
it.
never tells people to not go and impede investigation.
Exactly. I was about to say, we're going to be the peaceful adults in the room by continuing to point fingers and not take accountability for our lack of, you know, directing these, you know, what was it that not Moriarty, he's from Sherlock Holmes, the fucking the guy who was like not Machiavelli. What was it Machiavelli was like? He was like, the people are a force of which nothing can stand against. Or something like that. The people are an unstoppable force. And if you don't direct that unstoppable force to a healthy outlet, then guess what it's going to meet? It's going to meet an immovable object. It's going to meet ICE and the government. And, you know, death is going to ensue. And it's going to be horrific. So what he needs to do is he needs to understand that we're dealing with a very volatile time bomb. Thousands of men in strength. All with guns, because our country is fucking awesome. America is awesome. We are great. We are the best, right? Fucking, sorry. It seems stupid. You know what? Fuck it. This is important. We are America. We are the best country. We are the world police. We are the only place where you can be like, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And you absolutely can. There is nothing saying that you can't do whatever you want. It's really sad that people are allowing the finger pointing and the media and the volatility. They're just allowing people to die. And I hope that my point and the reason behind it is coming across. Fucking... People got executed for sure. Like, it's it's mind-boggling that people are just allowed to die, you know. You know, and it goes both ways, you know. It's like I don't know. It's infuriating that Tim Walz has not been the adult in the room and been like, all right, We understand that there are problems. We're going to listen to what you have to say. That's what adults do. Adults close their fucking mouths, open their fucking ears, take in the information, and then once all the information is taken and been taken in, fucking correct or not, then you turn around and you give your rebuttal. You don't interrupt. You don't fucking, unless the claim is like, well, yeah, you don't interrupt. You just sit, you shut the fuck up, you listen, and then you go, okay, how can I legitimately solve this problem? How can we work together as a team? It should not be he said, she said. It should be we said. It shouldn't be he said, she said. It should be we said. Full stop. It should be a team effort on the boots on the ground and the operation manager being ICE, and then the affected party being the people. And this is what the people are seeing. This is not what the ICE leadership is seeing. The ICE leadership is seeing numbers on graphs go up and down. So they don't understand just how poorly the ICE officers are conducting themselves. The people don't understand just how necessary ICE is, because the media and people like Tim Walz are like, yeah, peaceful protest. ICE is evil. They want chaos. All they want is this, this, and that. We said, not he said, not she said. We said. We should talk about America as an entity and not as sects of government versus people. It's the division throughout, widespread, makes me so mad. It makes me want to it makes me want to get up on stage and scream about it, which I'd love to do. But, unfortunately, I have a life. I have things going on outside of the government that I have to take care of. You know who doesn't? The Twitter people who are like going and, that is their life. That is their music. Like for me, what music means to me, that's what they believe. They want so badly to help, to see the country prosper. Let's not give them an outlet to see the country prosper. I've got plenty of venues to go and play. I don't need to go out and make my own venue. These people need to go out and make their own ways to help. Have the government, who has a bird's eye view and understands all the moving pieces, find their puzzle piece where they can be like, yeah, this is where you can legitimately affect change, or at least, well, that's so mean. Yeah, give them a place where they can actually affect change. Give them someone who will actually hear what they have to say. It's infuriating. It is so infuriating. And people are going to keep dying. I bet you now. What did I say? What did I say when Renee Good got killed? I said people are going to keep dying. It's going to happen again. Not a month later, it's happened again. This is twice in a month. This is a severe issue that goes way deeper than just what is Tim Walz saying, what's J.D. Vance saying, what is ICE doing. There is way more moving parts. What are the aliens doing? Not to use that term, but it feels like, a lot of people are forgetting that there's a reason ICE is doing what they're doing. It's not just because they want to, and it's not just because they hate immigrants, but it's because immigrants are legitimately causing problems for American people. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, or they'd rather close their eyes, shut their ears to it, but it's happening. This is why this is a problem, is because people hear that and they go, no, there's got to be a way around it. It's got to be white people's fault, right? Not that it legitimately is, but that thinking is the same vein, It's the same fucking vein. It's absolutely disgusting. We need fact-based, evidence-based solutions. We don't need, how do you feel, Or at least like a comforter. We need a blanket to wrap it around, an evidence sandwich, so that people can get the information and understand that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a great thing, but it's not necessarily worth demonizing and worth obstructing over, right? Again, not saying ICE is wrong. ICE conducts themselves in awful ways. The way that they treat the people they've arrested, the way that they've executed 2 fucking people in the last month for, generally very little reason, very little forethought. The way that an ICE officer thinks he can deport and start assuming the nationality of a officer who is arresting him for drunk driving. Yes, an ICE officer gets arrested for drunk driving. Like, the way that they're receiving constant death threats, the way that they're getting dragged out of cafes, the way that they're detaining 5-year-olds and using them as bait to collect a abandoning father. Like, there are a lot of moving parts here. It's all terrible. Once people understand that it's all terrible, there's got to be a solution that works for all parties, then I think it'll be much easier to come to a discourse, you know? Yeah, having someone on the far right talk to someone on the far left is not going to work. What you need is someone on the far right talking to someone in the more centered, so that they can be like, well, yeah, again, think about, you know, we need more communication. We need more people getting proper, real, evidence-based information. Again, I shouldn't have to look at 2 separate news sources to get the full story of something. You know, there shouldn't be question marks in my headlines. It's so dumb. We're 14 minutes in, and I've made an hour out of this, dude.
That's the problem.
Fuck.
Is that he's
Governor.
really the one that's making this happen.
I'm Bob Jacobson, Commissioner of Public Safety for the Department of Public Safety, and again, it's my honor to serve.
Never. He
position.
never has said that. Let's keep on.
A man was shot and killed this morning.
Yes,
in
he was.
Minneapolis. I want to pause and remember what cannot get lost in this moment. Man died.
Yes. Thank you.
His family and friends are feeling unimaginable heartbreak and trauma.
Yeah.
And I know Minnesotans and I know our community will rally around this man's family and friends to support him. I also understand clearly that people are upset. They're scared, they're confused, and I want to assure you that this state's public safety officials and our local law enforcement partners are doing everything in our power to get answers, to help return a sense of normalcy back to our communities.
Answers
You have
for
the
what?
right to demonstrate peacefully. We recognize
Oh,
that
are they gonna
demonstrations
say it?
are often
Wait,
driven by
wait, they
strong
might say it.
emotions, beliefs,
They might say
and
it.
a desire to be heard.
Oh,
Yes.
here we go.
Yes.
But please remain peaceful.
Oh,
I
we're
want to
getting
say
there.
it again that because it is important and it is critical. Peacefully demonstrate.
Yes.
By doing so, you help local authorities to get answers.
Yes.
You help us
Yes.
to do our investigations.
Not
By
enough.
remaining
Nope.
peaceful, you help ensure nobody else may be killed or injured.
All right, now expand on that. Let's get a little bit stronger. How is it helping? Let's be a little more aggressive. Like, this is vital. This is imperative that you remain peaceful. If you want, you can throw in they'll win if you don't, because the only thing that will do is that will radicalize these people to want to beat the other side more. And if you can beat the other side with kindness, then guess what? Nobody fucking dies. Like, we need to expand on this remain peaceful. We cannot leave it at that. We need to expand on why you should remain peaceful. People will not die. You will appear better than the violent aggressors. They will have nothing to say to you when you bring the hammer down and say, why are you doing this the wrong way? They will not be able to retort and say, well, you did this, because you haven't done that. You've simply voiced your opinion, found a flaw, and are asking, why is this flaw here? What? Like, we need to expand. We need to radicalize peacefulness. We need to be radically peaceful. We need to be so aggressively kind and so aggressively wanting to help that they have no choice but to listen. And not aggressive in the sense that you have to go and throw rocks at a car. Aggressive in the sense that, you simply video it. You simply video from, like, 30 feet away. Don't say a word. Don't say anything, because if they're like, hey, what are you doing, and they're attacking you, and you're responding in a peaceful voice and you're complying, then guess what? I don't know. We need to be aggressively peaceful. We need to be, like, no weapons, weapons for personal safety, but no brandishing. We need to have phones out all the time, constant video, no talking. You're not allowed to say a word, because the moment you open your mouth, can and will be used against you in a court of law. I think. Again, I'm a massive idiot. But I think that this guy is not expanding enough on the idea of being peaceful, because these people are super angry. If you can direct that anger to be like, look how peaceful I'm being, that is so much better than, look how many rocks I can throw at this police car before I get executed, right? I think. It makes sense to me.
The thousands and thousands of people who gathered yesterday in Minneapolis proved that Minnesotans can make their voices heard peacefully, and they can do so without violence, and they can do so without destruction. And state resources are available and ready to support our local law enforcement partners as requested. And those resources include the Minnesota State Patrol, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and the Minnesota National Guard. With that, we'll stand for questions.
Oh, here we go.
Emissary from the Green Dragons will be present.
Made this request before.
You may
Is there
join
any
us for
reason
the
to believe
journey.
that it will be answered differently? Have you had any conversations with the president, with the federal government, and is there any indication that they are going to pull out or back now?
Of course not.
Well, I spoke twice this morning, shortly after I received the call of this shooting. I spoke with the President's Chief of Staff, and
How'd that go?
first request was to get her people out of there, to get these federal agents out of there. They were
what'd
going
they say?
to cause more chaos. And second call is, with no uncertain terms, that we will investigate this. We will not be stonewalled. What we've already seen, and you saw it this morning,
Is that their decision
before
to
any
make?
investigation is done,
They should at least be involved. You remember when the FBI refused to let people look at the Renee Good thing? Whether or not it's their call to make, they should at least be in the room when the discussions are happening, right? They should at least be in the loop on the decisions that people are making, and they should be able to say, hey, why is the decision being made? They shouldn't say, no, that decision shouldn't be made because it negatively affects me. They should say why, right? And there's not enough why. There's only... Look at how this affects me negatively. Well, la 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 la, right? And it's very annoying. I think they should at least be in the loop. You know, they should be able to ask the FBI, hey, what are your findings in the case so far, and not have the FBI be like, yeah, fucking, losers and bitches, because that's unhelpful. That is not the way to solve your problem. You know, it is like. God damn it. God damn it, man. It's like
My hooves no longer take me to Marukai, but my
the blinding of the eyes and the closing of the ears doesn't help anything, and it certainly doesn't help people want to help you. You know? Like, invites you to join a guild, dude. Yeah, I'm not gonna do any of that. Fuck. This is about
it's
this
a federal
poor man.
officer,
I
I
don't
don't
even
think it's
know
a
his
state
name.
investigation.
That's how fucking awful it is. That makes me look like an asshole. I'm gonna go learn his name. Yeah. Exactly. I was gonna say the guy clearly wanted to help. He was a licensed nurse, I think. Alex Preddy. Yeah, Alex Preddy. Yeah, an ICU nurse. He was absolutely a nonviolent individual. If they had just talked to him, like. Yeah, dude, Alex Preddy absolutely did not deserve any of this. See, and do you see the weight? I hope it's coming through. Like, the feeling that is washing over my body right now, having learned his name, is now making this feel so much more real. What we need to do is we need to find ways to put that feeling into everybody, into ICE officers, into ICE leadership, into protesters, into protesting leadership, and heads of organizations who are heavily against this, into the minds of Tim Walz. Because I think that if we can get him to feel that same thing about what ICE is doing, again, it goes both ways. People are dying. I don't know. Again, it's making me feel awful that I have to be like, oh man, the protesters are wrong and ICE is wrong, and it's causing lots of violence. But I almost have to separate myself from the violence that's been committed to protect myself from feeling like demonizing all parties, you know? Like, everyone sucks. Everything is fucked and everybody sucks. And I think until people realize that, they're going to keep choosing one side and championing that side is the true, the true right side. I think what we need to do is we need to air out all dirty laundry on both sides. Be like, this is a list, this is crimes committed against ICE, crimes committed against people, crimes committed against the aliens, and why. Maybe. I don't know. This is just, I feel like there are people smarter than me who can definitely figure this out and are in positions where they can tell people, like, hey, there are easier ways to go about this than violent protest. But you need to stress far more, because even when he's talking to the president, he is very much like using that anti language. He's being very negative. And that is simply not going to help anything. That's only going to make people trust what's happening less,
The federal government spinning stories and putting up pictures and unrelated people who we don't know anything about, and a picture of a firearm to try and spin a narrative. And I ask Americans, this will end when enough Americans say this will end.
Yeah, it will.
Do I have any confidence Donald Trump will do the right thing? No, I don't.
No, I don't. He should have done the Insurrection Act last week.
I do have a lot of confidence that the majority of the American people will do the right thing. And I think there cannot be very many people across this country looking right now, after all the reporting that's been done, after everything that's been said, under the pretense that they are here about immigration reform, and quit referring to these people as law enforcement. They are not law enforcement.
They absolutely are.
We have law enforcement who do an incredible job. And to listen to Greg Bobino denigrate the work of our people who are out there cleaning up their mess.
Yeah, this I 100% agree with. I think they are law enforcement, but the fact that they are, like, they should definitely be referred to as feds, Like, they definitely still have authority. It's very important that people remember that. But if this is truly disparaging the name of local enforcement officials who are doing their jobs and doing their jobs well, that's an interesting thing to see how... We need to, that's what we need to do. We need to bring the government, like, force their eyes, drag their screaming, kicking little eyes down to the American floor, to what we're seeing, and be like, look, do you see what you're doing to people? Do you see what you're doing? Do you have any idea about what's actually going on in the streets of Minnesota, or are you just reading reports from the ICE agents who are, as skewed as the protesters? ICE agents are definitely going to be like, oh, these liberal demons came and invaded our thing, and we had to take out a guy who was assaulting officers. He quite literally arrived to tell people to leave and was, like, trying to get people to safety, and then he got pepper sprayed, so he shot his hands up. And then he was thrown down to the ground, so he stayed on the ground, and his gun was taken, and then he got shot. Like, it's fucking... If people could have brains and use them and have... I don't know, man. I don't know. The thing that makes me more angry is looking at Asmongold's chat, seeing all the people demonize Tim Walz. Tim Walz is not, he has been woefully unhelpful, I agree. But he is doing one thing. He is very much showing the very real effect that ICE is having. Unfortunately, he's doing it in such an unserious, hard-to-defend way that ICE is just not taking him seriously. If he had looked more at, like, hey, ICE, here's some common ground. You mind, like, not tarnishing it? You mind, backing? I'll do what I can to keep my boys at bay. But if you can do what you can to make it clear to the people that we are just trying to help, we are just doing our jobs, I think that would go so much further than... They want chaos. They are doing this. They are doing that. We have done everything possible, which you haven't. Like, the he said, she said is woefully unhelpful to everyone. And this is what it does. Watch the chat, man. It's absolutely...
Do it, but here's what I do have confidence in.
Man.
There's a whole lot of Republicans, for whatever reason, cannot find their spine.
Yeah.
But they might find the ability to know that they're not going to win another election
I
as long
told
as they
you.
live unless they
I
stand
told
up for
y'all
what's
this shit
right
was gonna
and
happen.
stand up for the rule of law and stand up for human decency, and that's the moment.
Baldy's in it. He's in it down to the last man. He's gonna go down with his ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good question. And
Yeah,
then
what are
look,
you gonna do?
I speaking to
You
the
ain't gonna
people
do
of
shit.
Minnesota right now, I hear that scream from you, and I'll continue to plead and ask
There's a
you
lot
for
of screams.
peace. And I know the answer is, you ask us for peace and we give it, and we get shot in the face on the streets coming
That's
out of a
peace
donut
whenever
shop.
you go after somebody?
We cannot
What
give
do you
them
mean?
what they want.
Yeah. This guy is very, very much absolutely correct, assessment gold guy, that this is not peace. What he needs to do is he needs to say, hey, before you go and take to the streets, go on this website and voice your opinion there, and wait for an actual, someone involved, someone ass in the chair, for lack of I want a boots on the ground, like homonym thing. Someone ass in the chair, who is watching these reports and seeing, like, on the front lines of the decision making process and being like, yeah, this is why that happened. Here's the sources. Here's the evidence. Like, it should all be public information. This should not be. We shouldn't have to have our guy whose ass is in the chair begging and pleading with the government, and then turning around and demonizing the government. This is, like, unhelpful all around, and I hope that that's coming through in what I want to be saying.
I don't know how to say this in so many terms to watch the madness that we've witnessed over this last week coming out of the White House and what it's doing here. My confidence is, and I say it to Minnesotans, as I've said, exercise your First Amendment rights, speak out, bear witness and document legally. But I understand the risk in that.
He
And I
never
understand the
says to
courage that it
stop
takes to
impeding.
have people
Yeah.
out there
He
doing
never
this.
says it.
Thank God we have video, because according to DHS,
Man.
these 7 heroic guys took an onslaught of a battalion against them or something. It's nonsense, people.
Yeah.
It is nonsense, and it's lies. So my confidence is this, Minnesotans. You know who you are, and you demonstrate it every single day, and we damn sure know who these people are. The American public knows, and
These people, the separation, the division, that is only going to inflame violence. That is only going to make people want to hit the streets and want to obstruct. There's no way he doesn't know what he's doing. He absolutely knows what he's doing. I refuse to believe that this guy just doesn't know what he's doing. I think it's really sad. It's really sad that he is allowed to get up and not offer legitimate solutions and continue to demonize the people that are legitimately executing his people. This is the stupidity is unfound. I understand that he's angry. I understand that he's angry at the federal government. I wish he would tell us why, because from what I'm hearing, he has not, like, he's not having an actual reason to be this angry at the government. He's like, I forget what he asked, but I know that my initial gut reaction to it was like, oh, well, that doesn't make very much sense now, does it?
this needs to be the event that says enough.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Go ahead. No, I'm up front.
Federal government.
Has there been any suggestion that ECA is not allowed to do this investigation?
Well, yeah, I don't think they even can.
The question
Let's
was
see.
related to whether or not the BCA is on the ground currently with the investigation, and a reference to previous investigations that the BCA have attempted to be a part of. What I'll tell you right now is that we no longer have BCA agents or public safety, state patrol, or Minneapolis on the ground at that crime scene.
Paul,
What I
market
will
on
tell
insurrection
you,
act, that'd be
and not to
crazy,
get
yeah.
further into the investigation, but DHS pulled out of the scene, leaving that to Minnesota State Patrol, Minneapolis. We did not have enough resources to be able to hold that ground safely, and we had to leave that scene because of the number of people that were available and the safety of those in the public and the safety of our teams. We were able to get there, but at that time we were not able to hold that scene to do a crime scene investigation. I can't talk any more about those details.
It's not either DHS nor state officials.
We'll have more on that, but the BCA is engaged and involved, and we are working at the request of the Minneapolis Police Department on this, on the scene.
See the close-up?
In this investigation. So we are there, we're
The guy
available.
shot one
We
ICE
wanna make
officer
sure
in the
that we
knee
continue
first?
to
I don't
work
think
on
so.
this and engage with our
Yeah, I don't even think he had his fucking gun out. I think that is blatant misinformation. I would love to know what absolute imbecile is spreading such dangerous lies. Like, because especially when you get the people who are very pro-gun and very pro-military against, liberals who are not very pro-gun and only trying to help because they are, incredibly radicalized, incredibly angry, like people, by people like Hassan and people with that sheer level of, like you get volatile people to rally against a cause. They will attack that cause with no. Sorry. Now I can formulate my thought a little easier. I'm also starting to get hungry, which is like not helpful. But yeah. What did I want to say? Yeah, I think it is. Fuck. All right, let's.
on the ground at that crime scene.
Is that an instruction by the federal government, or did you pull your agents out?
Paul,
What I
market
will
on
tell
insurrection
you,
act, that'd be
and not to
crazy,
get
yeah.
further into the investigation, but DHS pulled out of the scene, leaving that to Minnesota State Patrol, Minneapolis. We did not have enough resources to be able to hold that ground safely, and we had to leave that scene because of the number of people that were available and the safety of those in the public and the safety of our teams. We were able to get there, but at that time we were not able to hold that scene to do a crime scene investigation. I can't talk any more about those details.
Who is handling the investigation? If not either DHS nor state officials right now.
We'll have more on that, but the BCA is engaged and involved, and we are working at the request of the Minneapolis Police Department on this, on the scene.
See the close-up?
In this investigation. So
That's what it was. The guy had a gun. Yeah. Yeah, I think that it is incredibly stupid to have such a, not violent, but such a well-trained, is what I'm going to say. Because a lot of these people that are supporting ICE, I think, have, like, military connections in their family and ex-military, which gives them a sense of binding to this, which gives them a sense of binding to the ICE. And then you've got the protesters who are seeing other protesters get shot and have been told, especially since, have been educated so much about social health and social empathy. They're seeing, what they believe to be innocent people and innocent protesters getting executed en masse twice in a month. It's like everyone is further dividing to their specific sides. Everyone, across the board. It's totally, it's degenerate at best. It is. It's further dividing, and it's further dividing in ways that we absolutely don't need, that is absolutely dangerous, and absolutely more people are going to die. I said it before, and what happened? More people died. More people are going to continue to die if people continue to divide and say that's what she said. If these guys start talking about ICE policies in a positive manner, and ICE start talking about protesting in a positive manner, I guarantee you there's going to be a little more bleeding over. And a little more being like, because if Tim Walz says, hey, we were slightly wrong about ICE, that's a hell of a lot better than J.D. Vance being like, you guys were hella wrong about ICE. It's it sucks.
We are there. We're
The guy
available.
shot one
We
ICE
wanna make
officer
sure
in the
that we
knee
continue
first?
to
I don't
work
think
on
so.
this,
Yeah, I don't
engage
think
with,
so.
with our federal law
I
enforcement. but at
what
this
from what I
point-
understand, he didn't even have his gun out. In one of the angles, they had to literally pull the gun out of its holster. Like,
We don't have
I'm gonna have
anything
to
more
go
to
back
share
and
about the
rewatch
crime
the
scene.
videos,
Again, we
but-
were
I don't
not
think he
able to
shot the
hold it.
gun.
We wanted to make sure and keep people safe, but federal law enforcement left the scene and left us there.
Governor Ernesto with the New York Times, have you activated the National Guard? I know this is sort of a
Yeah, this is what they need to do. They need to have National Guard.
Yeah. Yes, the answer is yes, we have, as we said last week, and we staged those troops. I'll have General Menke talk about where they're at, and again, use this as an opportunity to stress to Minnesotans the frustration you have, and as you saw this, they killed a man, created chaos, pushed down protesters, threw gas indiscriminately, and then left the scene, and then we're left to clean up. I understand the anger. I understand trying to parse who were the law enforcement on the
mauling.
scene when you got there after a
He's
man was
upset.
killed.
Of
is
course
difficult
he's
for the
upset,
folks who are
dude.
out there, but I can't
Everyone's
stress enough our
upset.
goal, and I'll
You're
have
upset.
General Menke talk about
Minnesota
what
so
the
many
role
nut
of these
jobs?
guard troops are
The government
in
lets it happen.
conjunction with incredible work
Yes.
from the
Yes,
Hennepin
This would
they do.
happen
County
everywhere if the government let it
Sheriff's
happen.
Office,
Yep.
from mutual aid across, and of course
Absolutely.
the State Patrol, of trying to get to the point where what we're saying is we can handle this, and Minnesotans can express their First Amendment right, and have our folks on the streets and get these people
Yeah, like
out.
they don't
And
activate
so,
the police,
John,
etc.
if you want to talk a little bit, but the answer is yes, there's activated. He can talk to you about numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, what's the National Guard doing right now? So we
Yeah.
have, we have been on state active duty for over a week. So we've had soldiers prepared in the metro area to respond in a much rapid manner than if they were not mobilized. So we have a request from the Hennepin County Sheriff to support them, and that is to help them free up additional resources for other work that they need to do. And we have started coordinating with them this morning on that, and that first area of support will be assisting them with their requirement to provide security to the Whipple building. So we'll be helping them there, and then we are in
Oh,
parallel
thank God.
planning with
Yeah.
other organizations within the state of Minnesota, to include the State Patrol.
See, that's what they should have done at the
Minnesota
beginning.
DNR, and other local agencies to render assistance if requested. I would say that the number that we have is adequate for the requests that we have right now, and I will also tell you that we are bringing more resources
Yep.
that will be able to respond in a timely manner that are not fully mobilized yet, but we are mobilizing more soldiers as we talk at this time. I'd like not to get into specific numbers for an operational security standpoint, but right now we have all the
Not
resources
being used to
meet the
separate
requests
agitators
that
from
we have.
ICE. Yeah, I know.
I would note on this one, too, that we'll be billing the federal government for the cost of the National Guard because they are incurring the costs that are falling on us by their
He's so
reckless
mad.
actions. Yes, sir.
Oh boy. He's really gonna go down with the ship, isn't he? I mean, I gotta respect it in a way. He's gonna go to war for those Somalian fucking
I'm rejecting the rush
illegals.
to judgment within 15 minutes of this, which they did.
That is, yeah. They really. Okay, buddy, you gotta stay off my mans, dude. I need you focused on me and me alone. All right. Bro, buddy, wrong side. Sorry, I don't mean to make this about World of Warcraft, but this is like. Can you guys tell that I like helping people? I like doing what's right. I like feeling like the way I spend my day is a positive effect on the world. Like, I really don't understand this. I don't get it, man. Everyone seems so hell-bent on fucking up this beautiful country that we have. I think my laundry's done. So, like I said, I have a life. Fucking, I don't know. I don't want to sound rude. I want to make a difference. I want people to wake up and be like, what do I want? I want people to wake up every morning, and I want people to be like, what can I do to help the situation? Or, you know, what I want them to truly believe that what they're doing is helping, and I want the other side to truly believe that what they're doing isn't hurting. I want positivity on both sides, man. Sorry, I'm tripping. I'm tweaking. I'm having a uh 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 I hate it. I hate it all. Everything's fucked. Everybody sucks. I be hating. That's what I be doing. I wake up every morning and I go, what can I hate today? That's what some people. It's probably. They're like, what did ICE do wrong this time? Just like waking up and being like, oh, what stupid bozo got executed this time? Well, it's not helpful. It doesn't fucking do anything. It's like, oh yeah, they're gonna execute all the protesters. Oh yeah, eventually ICE is gonna stop. Eventually they're gonna defund them. All the while, what's actually happening? People are dying. People are dying on both sides. It's the worst. People are getting dragged 300 feet. It's like, make it less scary when ICE shows up. You know? Fucking make it so that it's like, hey buddy, a couple well-dressed guys in suits pull up. Like, hey bud, you got a couple options here. You know, you can continue to let us talk to you and come out with a full citizenship and full integration into the country, or you can try to evade us, and then there's going to be problems. But if you lead with, you know, put your hands up and maybe we'll be nice to you. I wouldn't put my hands up, dude. I'd be running for the hills. What are you talking about, bro? I'm not going to fucking jail. Fuck that. You know? Use your noodle, people. This is my face when everyone's stupid except me, guys. Remember it. Remember it well. I'm gonna do some counterintelligence research. If you guys want to see some real fucked up opinions, you go on iFunny. That is the Twitter of the anti-liberal. The Twitter of the anti-liberal is iFunny. It is ridiculous. Check it out. kicked for being AFK. So I was just talking to my parents, and they have a much better scope on what's actually going on. I basically have gotten everything from, like, you know, current events and how I'm seeing people respond to things. Obviously, I also got breakfast. Obviously, I engage with the source material, like the videos, but after talking to my parents, it seems like this is the most divided the country has, like, ever been, and it's been barreling towards this since, like, Bush, allegedly. Again, I can't confirm or deny that, but I can tell you that I, being a 20-something-year-old, have never once seen a political conversation that was not an argument and a he said, she said. And it sounds like my parents used to see all the time, where it was like, well, here's the issue. It sounds like we both want the same thing. We just have different ways of going about it. Sounds, you know, way fucking healthier to me. But anyways, I had a point. Fuck. Well, I mean, either way, fucking... some goddamn bullshit, man. It's like, I don't know. I had a point. When it stemmed from the amount of division in this country. It stems from I think that this country is super divided. Yeah. There's a Louisiana senator who was like, man, the people can handle it. Just give us the truth. And that's absolutely fucking true. I think there's 10% on the right and 10% on the left who are particularly loud and doing the whole finger plugging thing. I think those are also the only people I've really taken a listen to. You know, aside from Asmongold, who's got some opinions that I'm with and some opinions that I'm not. What's up, Leon? Sorry, cat reveal. Came down, he's hanging out. I think I need to take a much closer look at, like, not the loudest responses and the most aggressive responses, but the actual responses. Because it seems like most people are sensible and they're saying, yeah, ICE is absolutely murdering these people in the street, but people are also absolutely, you know, not going about protesting in the safest way. Maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe I'm an ignorant fool. But either way, we're gonna keep going.
Last time that's why you need to have a fair investigation.
But didn't
and
you
that's
do
why
that?
a video can show one thing, but what happened beforehand. But they already will slander this individual.
I said
They've already made this the case, and I will just say you will all start to see it, and some of you probably have. There's multiple angles of this.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to what we talked about before. They're telling you not to trust your eyes and ears, not to trust the facts that you're seeing in front of them. And at some point in time,
Just absolutely
your reporting, and I think
Ignorant
the reporting
mind.
this week has been spectacular across Minnesota, that there's not two sides to every story. But in this situation, what I'm saying is we need to have a fair investigation, understanding what's happening, and held accountable.
A fair investigation is one that you
We continue to hear,
do.
and we heard it from the vice president, that these folks can do whatever they want. They can have full immunity. And what I'm telling you is they will not. There will be.
The guy who shot Renee Good is in hiding right now. He should absolutely be arrested for murder. Abso-fucking-lutely. That is so insane. I'm not saying that, like, Renee Good didn't, you know. What I'm saying is that this guy murdered a woman. However, for whatever reason he saw justified, he did murder a woman and has gotten off scot-free and a nice fat paycheck for it. And that is just fucking inexcusable.
Be justice to Minnesotans. Continue to gather the information. So I won't say where it is, because I think it's irresponsible to make that judgment. But what I see with my eyes and what you're going to see with your eyes makes that pretty hard to believe. And I would imagine as a federal officer, they would have come out and sounded like these professionals sound and say, we need to gather the information, we need to gather all the facts, we need to put them forward, and then we can make some informed decision based on the fact. They've written the narrative already. And the audacity to critique the police chief of Minneapolis after what work that the heroic officers are trying to do, and to be critiqued by this guy, I mean, I don't know, I've said it a lot, but America, as you're listening, enough is enough. Enough is enough of this. End this. End this. And we see them moving to Maine. If you're in Boston, you're in Chicago, you're in Philly, you're in Miami, it doesn't matter.
Miami's not going to have this problem.
Our children are in trauma.
Does the police help the fucking
A
federal
5-year-old,
government?
you saw the picture, the bunny hat and the Spider-Man? These are
trying
not
to
like
use
some
the
narrative to
5-year-old.
throw around, to parade around in some coat you had made and act
Oh
like
my
you're a tough guy
God.
or whatever. These are people's lives, and we have rule of law. So
Yeah.
I'll let the investigation play itself out. We will do our best to find it, but I don't know. You kill a man and then you just leave your law enforcement, you just leave him. Is there a single case in American history where you just like walk away and say, I guess that just happened and we're not going to clean up our mess? I'm proud of Minnesotans. I'm proud of law enforcement here and our partners, and we'll get to the bottom of it. I think we have time for another one. So yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he won't even answer the question.
I'm better off to let these guys, the professionals. I have my thoughts.
Oh God, he won't even answer.
So the
it.
question was, what are we doing to assist federal law
You know what
enforcement
Tim's
on
contributing to mass
getting,
hysteria? He
violent
is.
criminals off the street? If I
He
understand the
absolutely
question.
is.
State and local law enforcement are always ready and willing and able to arrest violent offenders. We do not stand down from that, no matter where we get that information from. If there are violent offenders or violent criminals or violent crimes, we will investigate and we'll bring those to justice. If the federal government would like to work with us, to continue to work with us as they have in the past, to locate those violent offenders, we are always open to those discussions and always willing to assist. We do not ignore that. We are ready and able, and we do that. All of you as part of the media hear us arresting violent offenders all the time. We
Well,
have not stood down. That is our mission. The federal government is not alone in arresting violent offenders.
Sure seems like it.
State and local law enforcement does that every day at great risk to their life, at great risk to the community.
seems like
we
it.
do it because we want a safe Minnesota, and the federal government is not the only one to do that.
This is why I think that we need we need far more transparency. We can't just trust that at its word, you know, because I haven't heard about it. I feel like I'd have heard about it.
Rape, homicide, manslaughter. That's who they're trying to protect in Minnesota. I do not understand these people. We sent Governor Walz a very strong letter today.
She gotta go.
Saying what?
Oh, she's gotta go. They gotta get rid of her. Like, it really, honestly, like this is like a meme. It's a meme. Like, what are we doing here? Oh my God. Wow, a strongly worded letter. She actually said this.
Governor Walz a very strong letter today. We had been working on this letter.
Oh
we got
my
it out saying
God.
that he better support President Trump.
Or
He
what?
better support the men and women
or
in law
what?
enforcement.
Isn't he
because if
saying
doesn't,
that he was?
We are, and that's what we're doing right now.
Oh, right. You better do it.
Are there any consequences
Christ.
in this letter?
Well, we'll see. This is fluid. Let's
We'll see. Yeah, okay, no.
see how Governor Walz responds. Let's see what he does based on this, based on what's happening right now. But this administration is going to support the citizens. We're going to support our great men and women in law enforcement.
Yep.
Rape, homicide.
No, what do you expect her to do? I mean, probably go out there and try to press charges on these people. I mean, that's the first thing that I would do. Apprehend them. Do everything that you can. National Guard, Army National Guard activated in Minnesota. Video frames raise hard questions. The gun agent said justified in the shooting in Minneapolis. Looks like it was already taken off him. before the shots were fired.
Yeah.
Rear frame show an agent pulling what appears to be a SIG P320 off of the scuffle and moving away from it, and then the shooting happens. If that's accurate, he was effectively unarmed at the moment that he was killed by ICE and Border Patrol agents.
Yes.
That's what it seems like to me, too.
Yes. So
What's
we're all
out there so
saying
far,
the
he was a
same
legal
thing, that this
citizen,
guy got
legally
murdered.
owned a gun and crossed paths with an ICE during operation. Agents say he approached them armed and wouldn't comply. Yeah,
That's
I mean, again,
absolutely
like,
not what happened.
I don't know how anybody thinks doing this is going to result in a positive outcome. Like, regardless of whether the agent was in the right or not for shooting him, the guy is still.
Yo, I am on stream at, like, live.
Hell yeah. Nigger, 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 nigger,
Oh,
nigger.
you fucking piece of shit. I hate you. I hate you so much. Yeah, dude. Fucking. Ugh. I don't like the government, as you know. They're like so fucking stupid and unhelpful.
Chat, you want to hear something?
Wow, you are not shitting right now.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit.
What are you streaming?
What?
What are you streaming?
World of Warcraft and Complain.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Fucking.
Are you complaining? What's happening? You can't fight a boss
Well,
or some shit.
Exactly what I said was gonna happen. Another innocent guy got fucking murdered, and he didn't even commit a crime this time. He literally was straight up unarmed and, like, complying as best he could, being surrounded by 7 screaming ICE agents, all 4 limbs on the ground. And then they shot him in the back after they removed his gun from him. And then, you know, Tim Walsh is, of course, being super unhelpful. And, of course, the government, like, and the news outlets are being super unhelpful. It's like, let's look at why this happened. Let's not talk about the fact that it happened. Let's look at why this happened. This guy was trying to...
Think about what would happen if Kamala Harris was our president, Tim Walz was our vice. That wouldn't just be Minneapolis. That'd just be the whole fucking country.
Yeah, it's like... well, I mean, it's gay, it's degenerate, they belong on a cross. You know, it's like the point of all of it is just crazy. It's just craziness and it's division for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killing's wrong in general, so I say both sides. They shouldn't have to kill.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the meat of it. It's like, why are you putting yourself in a position where you can get killed for the sake of doing the right thing? Which is
I mean, to be honest, those protesters, they're making it about themselves. They don't care about what.
100%.
Dude, it's like rioting all over again, bro. They want to riot and take shit.
Yeah, it's really, it sucks that. Yeah. It's an easy way. Sorry.
Dude, it was fucking crazy when Biden was president. George Floyd died.
Yeah.
No one didn't stop it. A lot of innocent people died.
Yeah. Fucking an innocent man got put in jail, right? Didn't Kyle Rittenhouse get put in jail?
Yeah, but he was found not guilty.
Okay,
but
thank God.
He gets death threats like every single day.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Fucking, it's really sickening how these radical, like, such radicalized people have all of this energy to put towards solving a problem, and then they go ahead and become part of the problem because they don't understand that they're part of the problem. They're being told, yes, demonize these people. Make sure that fucking, you know.
Did you see that dumb bitch that shaved her head for Renee Good? She's like, no one's doing anything, so I'm gonna shave my head in support for Renee Good. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean,
she had like a long set of hair too, and I'm like, you dumbass, stop making it about yourself.
Exactly. It's like, you know, I don't know. It's like
Typical
PU.
liberal. How can I make this about me?
Yeah, typical liberal, typical liberal dumbass being all gay and fucking. I don't even know. I know what I want to say, but I'm not sure I have the formulaics to say it.
Dude, freedom of speech, bro. You can say whatever you want. We all have different political opinions. I just don't want to like insult it. I don't want us to insult each other when we talk about it. You know, like your friend. I was cool with him saying all that stuff. It's when he told me to suck his dick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the same time, he is like.
Yeah,
he's very cool. He's a very angry guy.
Yeah, I get it, but you don't lash out on people like that.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's in the past. It's all good now. I don't care about it anymore. I might drink.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I got bigger fish to fry. Like, explaining to people that Renee Good didn't deserve to die. This guy, Alex Peretti, definitely didn't deserve to die. He didn't even attempt to run over an officer, allegedly. He literally just complied and was auditing a ICE operation, trying to get innocent people away from the ICE operation by saying, hey, go away, don't engage with ICE. And then, he went ahead and...
Renee Good's girlfriend or wife, she kept telling him to, like, do that shit. Like,
exactly. That's what I was going to say. You should arrest the fucking wife. I guarantee you Renee would have stayed right there if she didn't suddenly hear her wife go, drive, baby, drive. Like, it is... We need people to understand that people are not demons, right? ICE agents are not demons. Protesters are not demons. They are innocent people who want to help. Both sides just want to help. Now we just need to educate both sides on how to actually help and not how to put each other in danger. It's very annoying.
But most of those people don't know how to help. They just know how to loot and shit.
Yeah.
They think they're getting their point across by stealing shit. Like, you don't do that. You don't riot, you protest. Difference between those two.
Yeah, massive. And it is infuriating. Makes
some nigga a few years back had to protect his store with a chainsaw because George Floyd rioters.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like, I guarantee you, we already learned once what happens. I guarantee you people are gonna be way less friendly this time on both sides. It's gonna be a civil war of...
It's literally civil war right now over there.
Yeah. It absolutely will be. Because if ICE can't put a fucking muzzle on the, or if JD Vance, not ICE, but if JD Vance can't get the protesters back under the government's, like, yes, we are trying to help no matter what it looks like, we promise. And if the protesters can't understand that ICE aren't, fucking blood-hungry demons who are actual Nazis, then it's further dividing now. And if people don't start rejoicing or, like, recombining and reassimilating, then we will never reassimilate, we will never recombine, and it will be a 10-year war. I guarantee you I was right about this.
You're good, go ahead.
Well, that's just what I'm saying. It's like, everyone is stupid except me, and no one wants to get smart. And it's so infuriating, because we're just gonna let a 10-year war happen. And we're all gonna sit back and watch until it hits our doorstep. And then once it hits our doorstep, we're gonna get fucking mauled.
Yeah. I wonder where Xavier's at.
Probably sleeping.
Wait, what did Benedict Arnold do? Plotted to surrender West Point to the British. What? Damn. He really is a traitor.
Yeah. That's frightening. That's frightening there. Fucking, I beat up a brother named Benedict Arnold, dude. Fucking, I see Benedict Arnold, bro, I'm gonna kill him. Fuck that guy.
I've been playing, I made a new Horde character.
Ooh. Exciting.
It's a orc.
Nice. What class?
Archer.
Ooh. Beautiful. What
Yeah.
level?
I'm gonna, it's a level 12.
Nice. So you must have been fucking working like a hog out there.
Yeah. Xavier needs to bring me another yard, bro. I think this might be the last cart that I ever get from him, and I'll get my cardigan. Probably. I'll probably wait a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm in my fucking string.
Yeah. I mean, fucking. I don't know. Commend you for taking, I don't know, initiative, I guess. For lack of a better term. I mean, W shit. Can't just be like, dude, yeah, fucking stop smoking forever. I don't want to be like, nah, keep smoking. You're a pussy. I'm gonna say, good shit.
Well, I just don't want to keep hitting this fake ass cart.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, actually, yeah. The fake yards are. I was about to recommend you mine, but mine is like just as
What's yours
fake.
called?
Binoid.
Oh, you also smoke the fake carts?
Yeah. Only out of necessity though, because I'm like not technically autistic enough to be able to get my green card. Just like big sad. And I don't have AIDS.
You just gotta. Brother, I told him I had back pain.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
all I
that
did.
I do
I just
have.
told him I told him I had pain in my legs and my back. And a lot of people have pain in their back and they can't help it, so you can use that as an excuse.
Very true. I may have to do that. I'll take pictures of my posture on stream. Just be like, yeah, 90 degrees fucking only. I don't know. Yeah.
90 degrees.
90 degrees only. Fucking.
Dude, I told my dad I'd go to church today, bro. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, not worth. Fucking. Yeah. No use for the church. What do you believe in Jesus? Fuck you.
Oh, there's a use for church, yeah. I mean, it makes me feel better about myself when I go.
Well, you're fucking awesome, dude. I'm sorry that I insulted Jesus.
Nah, bro. Everyone has a different opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, if I force religion on you, it's just gonna push you further away. But I do
Well-
hope you find Jesus one day.
Well, here's my thing about finding Jesus, right? It's like, I personally just don't feel a particular need to find Jesus. Like,
Yeah, not right now, no.
well, I mean, but not ever. Like, my belief system is very grounded in what I see and what I feel. It's not necessarily atheism so much as it is, like, well,
Yeah, but you're honestly, I believe you're gonna have like you're gonna meet someone or some shit, or you're gonna have like a life-changing point of view, and you're gonna change your minds.
yeah. You're probably right, honestly. I don't go out enough to fucking have my mind. I do have, or I've had a person twice, 3 times, 4 times come up to me and be like, "Do you have a few minutes to talk about our Lord and Savior?" And I will say that shit, nothing has made me want to talk about our Lord and Savior less than when someone comes to my door and is like, "Yeah, fucking talk about Jesus." Yeah, nothing makes me want to engage with religion less. I think it's well, yeah, never mind. My thoughts on religion are very, very, very all over the place. I'm a heavy supporter of religion, but at the same time, I fucking hate that it's like a thing that you can profit off of. But at the same time, like, the church can't do the things that it needs to do without money. But at the same time, there's like greedy ass churches. So I'm constantly flip flopping. It's very much like politics. So this orc horde character, is being an archer worth it, or is that like fucking for pussies?
I picked archer because I wanted to main a gun, but right now I have a bow,
Hmm.
and I'm not high enough level to get a gun.
Damn.
But the archer really isn't bad. It's got some good moves.
Yeah, you get a little guy, right? Little man's.
It's ogre.
Ooh. It's pretty fire.
Not an ogre, but orc. I named him Shrek because he looks like Shrek.
Sick. It's fucking nice. Fucking. And does he have a brain, or is he like me, where he's like fucking stupid?
Honestly, I think he. You know what? I'm gonna say my character is fucking stupid. Because typical orcs are stupid.
Okay.
Eat. Shoot, bow.
Yeah.
Kill humans.
Oh, I've been disconnected from the server. Nice. Fuck you.
fucking orcs breathe underwater or some shit?
Now that is a good question. How is this so goddamn difficult to find a fucking O-talk, dude? I just need your goddamn heart. I just need to rip it out of your chest cavity. I can't say that because it's not a very funny joke. Fucking...
Still
Ugh.
dead. And I think it's such a huge mistake that you don't have more people, and more people in general, just going out and saying, hey, stop going out and listening to the and not listening to the police and being aggressive towards them. What
Chat,
happened
you hearing
before?
this?
Let me see if I can pull this one up.
This is
Okay,
smart
let me see
man.
here.
We need more people being like, don't gun, fucking, you know, peaceful.
Yeah, right and wrong
peaceful.
don't help if you're dead. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that regardless of whether you think this is justified or
Yeah.
not, it's
I don't know why
undeniable
people
that
don't
the
just
amount
go,
of people that
go
are
home
going
in
around...
Minneapolis. Like, just stop everything.
Well, I mean, it's a very complicated issue. You have to understand these people are just like me. They're maybe just like us. They're very, very angry. They're very, very sick of all of it, and they very, very much know that the problem should be way easier to solve than what's happening now. They just don't know how to help, as discussed earlier. And so they look to things like the George Floyd protests and the Martin Luther King things, where it's like we can just go out and we can get in the way and directly impede things from happening. They don't understand is why that doesn't work in this case. Like, it worked with Martin Luther King because they were so unviolent. They received so many beatings and didn't give an inch that eventually people were like, yeah, you know, maybe we should listen to what they're saying. And you got things like the George Floyd. That was, again, a completely unjustified murder of a man who was, and people will say different, but, you know, completely unjustified murder of a man, and people decided that the best course of action was to, you know, go to cause millions of dollars in property damage because it was the quote-unquote only way to get people to hear their voice. And so people are doing the same thing because they feel like they're not being listened to. They feel like what's happening and what they've been doing is not working, and they're not understanding that, you know, adding fire to the fire doesn't fucking help. It's very much that people are an unstoppable force when unified, and so the government is just doing a terrible job at directing that unstoppable force.
and being violent and aggressive towards the police are escalating these situations beyond what they need to be, and they're making them worse. And the longer that they allow that to happen, and they like that's treated as anything other than just something that immediately is breaking the law, then it's just going to keep getting worse. Recording
I don't even
equals
know where to
aggressive.
go,
I'm not
honestly.
talking about recording. That's not what I was saying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if you're talking like WoW or not.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So this is the guy. Yeah, no, he was there recording them. Obviously.
Unroll your windows. No, your friends. Go around. Fuck off! This is a shit.
Oh my god. So, I mean, honestly, I think the officer handled that pretty well right there. You know, they just push the guy. They say, okay, that's fine. You want to record us, just get off the street. I feel like that's very reasonable, honestly. That's extremely reasonable. There's nothing really wrong about that at all. But it seems like nobody here was being violent. Like, this isn't really a big problem at all. Anyone with a concealed carry knows you should always comply with police, announce your weapon, and de-escalate all.
Yeah, I will say that boy I don't think was doing a very good job of de-escalating from what I can see.
Oh, your friend?
No, I mean, yeah, my buddy, he's like, fucking, my buddy the ICE agent is sorta being a little bit aggressive, but so
buddy's
is
an
the
ICE
guy.
agent?
No. Yeah, so the guy, Alex Preddy, was being a little bit aggressive with ICE agents, allegedly. I'm going to go back and re-look at the clip.
It's going to keep getting worse.
All he did was get pushed
Recording
back
equals
onto
aggressive? Well, I'm
the
not talking about
sidewalk
recording.
and
That's
not
not what
on
I
the
was saying.
street. Which is totally fine. If he had started the video from the sidewalk to begin with, then whatever... I don't know, fucking whatever. I'm gonna rewatch the clip, but it seems like
So
he
this is the
still didn't
guy.
deserve to die, but he may
Yeah,
have
no, he
done
was there
what all these
recording
other
them.
angry people are doing, which is get just a little bit too close.
Obviously.
Unroll your windows. No, your friends.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna do this,
go around.
take down the Dark World Outland, Iron Horde Missive.
Fuck off! This is a shit.
Yeah. So, couple of interesting things to unpack there. Most, like, namely being the fact that it looks like he was the only one who was pushed away, but he was also the closest to the ICE officers. Don't really know what to say there, aside from he didn't deserve to get shot for that, if that was all he was doing. But, I mean, yeah, my man said it. I think he's, it was pretty fucking reasonable to have, you know, to ask a guy to back up because he was getting, like, directly all up in your shit with a camera. Like, would be way easier if these people would shut the fuck up and film from 15 feet away. Then we could actually see what ICE is doing wrong and not see that there was a headline where this person got shot. Because they had to get closer. And they had to open their fucking mouth, yeah. Yeah, man, fucking can't stand it. If people would shut the fuck up, then, you know, none of this would happen. If people just can't shut the fuck up and listen.
Oh my god. So, I mean, honestly, I think the officer handled that pretty well right there. You know, they just push the guy. They say, okay, that's fine. You want to record us, just get off the street. I feel like that's very reasonable, honestly. That's extremely reasonable. There's nothing really wrong about that at all. But it seems like nobody here was being violent. Like, this isn't really a big problem at all. Anyone with a concealed carry knows you should always comply with police, announce your weapon, and de-escalate all potentially dangerous situations, at least in my state. The guy intentionally gets in the way and involved in an escalating situation. Absolutely retarded behavior from a concealed carrier. I think you're totally right. I do. I think you're completely right. I think this is absolutely fucking retarded to do. And at the end of the day, if he had complied with police, if he didn't have the gun with him, like, there is a much higher probability that he wouldn't have...
Alright, he absolutely should have had the gun on him, but he also absolutely should have shut the fuck up and complied with the police. This is America. This is what I'm fighting so hard for. I like my guns. I want to be able to own a basement full of 100 guns and have people say which one's your favorite, you know? That is my dream. That's what I'm fighting so hard to protect. Motherfuckers don't understand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. I don't know. Am I making sense, Joey? Is all this, like, checking out? Is this...
I get what you're trying to say, yeah. You want people to stop being dumbasses towards ICE so they stop killing each other.
Yeah, and then we can, you know, if ICE is truly as bad as the people say, they're doing a terrible job at showing it. You know, if they just shut the fuck up and filmed it and then put it on the internet and be like, so this is a completely unedited ICE interaction, I'm sure people would have different thoughts.
Yeah. I wish none of that shit happened, honestly.
Yeah. It's fucking, it's stupid. It's so dumb that motherfuckers are like, oh yeah, we're just allowed to obstruct and we're allowed to send death threats and rip people out of cafes. And it's just as stupid that people are like, dude, $200,000 a year, a gun, and no training, I can do whatever I want. I can execute this fucking libtard pussy bitch who obviously tried to run me over. Like, what? Fucking so infuriating. It's not that deep, and everyone's like, no, but it is that deep, though. Look what they did. Look what you did! That's what I don't like about Tim Walz. He's constantly like, we've done everything we can do. No, the fuck you haven't. You've got angry people. You're an angry guy. What do you want? You want someone to go to be like, how can I help with this, right? Guess what everyone doesn't have? You need someone educated. Like, this is something I posted earlier in my stream. Have, like, an online forum or something where people can go and legitimately talk to an ass-in-the-chair ICE overseer. Be like, so ICE, why is this happening? Why did you do this? What was this for? Are you doing anything about this? And get real answers from real people involved and not have to pick through a fucking hour-long speech to get a semblance of what might be happening. You know, I don't know. We want information, government. Give us information. It's all fear-mongering and garbage, and then when we want to go in and see what's happening for ourselves, the FBI is like, nah, not on the list. Fuck. Like, dude.
Wonder if I got paid yet.
Ooh, now that is a good question.
Have been shot. There is. Like, it's undeniable this is the case. And I feel like that nuance is constantly lost because you can easily come to the conclusion that maybe the way that they shot him was wrong. And based off of everything that I've seen, I'm pretty certain that they fucked up. I am. This seems pretty cut and dry that they fucked up. Now, I'm not, you know, we need to wait for the body cam, and that way we'll really know. But right now, it sure seems like they fucked up.
Still didn't come in, nigga.
The only time, again, full-throated defense, like Karen's, the tiniest little details, nitpick, defend the innocence.
Yeah, it came Friday, though. It came early.
Pretend cop. This guy's been a cop for 8 years. The guy was a border patrol agent for 8 years that shot him.
Wait, so was that like...
This is really the fault of the Minnesota officials.
Was that last week's check coming early, or was that this week's check being, like, delayed and fucking...
Last week's check came early.
Okay. That's badass.
I agree with you. I think that the main people who are at fault
How
here
do I be as
is
big
the
as that
Minnesota
fucking
government.
orc? What
I
the
think
hell?
the Minnesota government are 100% at fault here, and they're the ones that have allowed this to totally escalate and completely boil over out of control. I think that's absolutely what's happened. And I think
We'll say, sorry, fucking Asmongold is spouting, and he's almost right. The federal government has not helped. They have not done anything to make ICE look less scary. Like, if an alien came down out of space and it looked exactly like the aliens from Alien, you'd be pretty fucking scared, right? Regardless of whether or
Oh,
not his
yeah.
favorite color is purple and he likes ponies. Yeah. So, if you make ICE look less scary, then maybe people will be less scared of them. And then maybe the government won't be so gung-ho about, oh, it's what they did, it's what they did. And maybe the government will be more gung-ho about, well, we understand you guys are just doing your job, but do it a little nicer. You know, it's fucking... It's gay. CJ, everyone is stupid except us. And it's the worst.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got a lot of really good points.
Well, yeah, Xavier is incredibly smart. Like, that's why I said
Yeah.
us. So it's like, my cat is tweaking out. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But yeah, everyone in our, like, circle, save for maybe Quentin, because he's really young, is incredibly educated. They're not stupid. They have brains, and they very well use them. The problem is that not enough of these people are loud enough, and so the lack of noise from these people with brains is making it seem, well, fuck. No, that's not true. We need more people to be as smart as us, to be like, well, shit, fuck. You know, this is fucked up. There's a very clear solution, and the solution is just, you know, to talk to people. To be like, guys, this is what ICE is doing. This is why they're doing it. This is how they're doing it. And then protesters to be like, guys, this is illegal. This is violent. This is not going to make us listen to you. If you want us to listen to you, do this. And then actually follow up and listen to them.
Yeah.
Out with it. We'll be back soon, sure.
But I don't get it. In World of Warcraft is I'm playing as the Horde, but why am I fighting against the Horde?
Now that is a good question.
Finally.
I think also, to a lesser extent, who's the second most in fault?
Let me dig
I
in,
think Trump
Shrek.
is. Trump has let this happen. He's let everything escalate and get bad because he said, you know what? I'm not going to invoke the Insurrection Act. I'm not going to worry about this. And again, if you do that, oh, this is the guy talking. Let me see this.
Approximately 9:03 a.m. this morning, Minneapolis police received a report of a shooting involving federal law enforcement in the area of East 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue on the south side of the city. Officers arrived and found an adult male with multiple gunshot wounds when they arrived. Life-saving aid was being rendered, and he was transported by ambulance to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he was later pronounced deceased. Based on the information that we have, which is very limited, this is a 37-year-old white male who is a Minneapolis resident, and we believe he is an American citizen. Approximately 9:03.
It seems like he is.
Do you see what they're saying? Attempting to shield child rapists from deportation. That's just as bad as saying he was a libtard, guys. It's everyone's stupid except us. You can't demonize people for doing their jobs, and you can't demonize protesters for pointing out murder and being against it. What you can demonize is the actions they're taking, but don't turn that around and demonize what they're doing. Demonize the why, or, yeah. Support the why, demonize the action. Road to hell is paved with bad intentions, so tell them to put down the fucking paper. Fucking hell.
Speak up. Go on then.
Is Trump must invoke the Insurrection Act now in the chaos and the deaths? Absolutely. Like, the sooner that happens, the sooner this stops. Whenever you have the governor of the state going up there and saying that law enforcement isn't law enforcement, if that's not an insurrection, I don't know what is. I don't. I feel like it's so obvious what he said is basically saying that, like, the federal government doesn't have authority over here. Like, if saying that the federal government doesn't have authority to enforce the law.
Which part?
Both the Horde, the Horde often fights itself due to internal conflicts over leadership, morality, and identity, frequently pitting honorable factions like Torn against radicalized war-driven leaders such as Garrosh.
If that's not the standard, then what the fuck is the standard? It's insane. Yeah, it's nuts. What does the Insurrection Act do? It allows Trump to use the. I guess Trump can nationalize can nationalize the National Guard in Minnesota without it, but it allows him to bring in the military to make sure that nothing goes wrong and to have them enforce the law. And I think that's what he needs to do. And people like Tim Walz need to get arrested.
You don't need to do full Insurrection Act, but I definitely... Well, yeah, if he can bring in the military strictly as overseers to arrest on site any and all acts of un-Americanism. No, any and all acts of people not doing what the fuck they're supposed to be. So I'm talking if ICE murders a guy, he gets arrested right there. I'm talking if protesters obstruct, they get arrested right there. I'm talking if an agent tries to, or an alien tries to escape without, hearing ICE out, which is a whole smorgasbord in and of itself. You should get assistance in arresting said alien right there. Being said, as I said earlier, I think ICE is very much too aggressive. I think ICE needs to go in with suits and clipboards and be like, now you have two options. You can sit here and listen to us talk and come out with a full citizenship and your own papers, or you can try to run away, in which case we're going to have to get the big boys out of our armored vehicle. You shouldn't lead in with the guns and the guys in masks. You should lead in with some, hey, we're strictly here to help you. We realize you're illegal. We want to change that.
Yeah.
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 I feel like it's not rocket science. And yet everyone is like, no, they have to be demons. Whoever they is, whether it's protesters or it's the government, no, they're demons. I refuse to listen to them. Why? It's fucking so dumb.
For sedition.
I've literally, how much content have I farmed out of this? I farmed 3 hours of content out of Asmongold's video.
Like, I mean, really, it should have, as I said, I have predicted this entire thing.
Exactly.
Every single thing that I thought was going to happen has happened. Every single thing. And you know what? I bet it's going to get worse.
That's what I'm saying, dude. People are going to keep dying. ICE is going to get further demonized. Protesters are going to continue to get more violent. There's going to be more invasion of ICE detention centers. There's going to be more not holding of hostages. What's the word I'm looking for? Harboring fugitives. There's going to be more harboring fugitives. It's going to be trash.
Trump's too much of a pussy. He is.
It's gay.
Look at this.
What is this?
It's a shithole. I mean, this is something you see out of like a fucking third world country.
That's what my dad was saying. My dad was like, yeah, the things I see in the headlines now, if I had seen these 10 years ago, I would have thought it had to have been North Korea or Iran or another, like, highly destabilized government. But no, it's happening on our own fucking...
Jesus!
Like, what is this? What are they doing? This is an entire roadway that's
Look at all
been
this.
blocked up.
Oh my god!
For what? They're using dumpsters to form a wall. Why? Why?
Dumpsters?
Yeah.
What the
How
fuck
does
are they
dumpsters help?
doing?
People can just climb over that shit.
Yeah. It's a fucking... Yeah, let me share my screen, because this is maybe, if it'll work. This is like actual nightmare shit. I'm gonna end stream.
I mean, I've seen a lot
of
of the videos already, but